Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 208, released July 1979. Our price, 60 cents, which is indeed cheap. Look at this. Look how irritating this is. Anyway, before I do that, please let me remind you, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. That's the #1 way that you can support this channel. We reach goals here. That's what we do. I set a goal, 900 subscribers before the coming, the death and resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, on Easter, and we accomplished that. We're at like 920 something. Now it's like, what's the next one? 1,000? Now, it's important to remember, I've never made any promises about what will or will not happen if I hit 1,000 subscribers. Remember that. Anyway, if you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Check that link down in the description. I can give you buttons. I can give you other things. Oh, actually, there are a limited edition, limited run blue stencils. There's a few patrons who are not given their full gift because my 3D printer was broken. It's no longer broken, so I made some just for them, and I actually made a few extras, so I might make those available. With that, these are the people that I get to thank for their support right now. Reflection of Perfection. Wait a second. Oh yeah, there you go. What's going on? What? Sorry about that. Something went wrong. Jacqueline Gosling, Reflection of Perfection, Frank Snyder, Misimo, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Meets Barry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get back to business. Wait, where am I? There I am, like magic appearing out of nowhere. Oh, did you notice? I got a new haircut? Anyway, it's a little shorter than I'm used to, so I'm trying to get used to it. Here we have Mad number 208. Look, in this issue, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a bird, it's a bomb, it's Superman. It's a waste of space. It's Battlestar Galactica. It's a bunch of crooks. It's lawyers and repairmen. It's a slice of life. It's the men's razor race. And it's a pack of lies. It's TV rating systems. And here we have Christopher Reeve's Superman. I did this one, not this one, another one with Superman on it not too long ago. Who has appeared on more Mad magazines? Superman or Spider-Man? Who knows? No way of knowing. Then here's the Super Barf Bag, and this is a Jack Rickard cover. Look at that. A beautiful house ad. The hysteria repeats itself one more time. Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! Nice ass. That's my Al Pacino. It's a sense of a woman. Mainly our past wretches up with us again in the nostalgic Mad number 7. These were great. The Mad Super Specials with little reprints, not facsimiles, but like collections of the Mad comics in a comic book form in the Super Special. How great is that? Pretty great. Here we're going to move right along. One of my favorite gags, why kill yourself just because you missed the last issue at the newsstand? Subscribe to Mad. And finally, I have done something that I've been thinking about doing for a very long time. I took a photo of this and I made a special folder on my phone called Suicide, which now I'm thinking I should go back and change that name. But I'm going to collect these and do a whole video on this. So you have that to look forward to. Here we have this. This is like the thing of note that I wanted to read about. Dick DeBartolo brings in a gusher. Um, in your September 1976 issue, Dick DeBartolo manifested more MAD ESP. His article was entitled Behind the Scenes at the Major Oil Companies, and one of his characters predicted that gas would go up to $1 a gallon. The 6 o'clock news confirmed that within 2 years, officials believe that gas will go up to $1 a gallon. DeBartolo's an invaluable MAD pipeline and forecaster. Now that is 79, 76, 3 years previous. I'm curious about this. Like, one of the memes online is like, what do the Simpsons predict? Was that the original one? Like, what did Dickie D predict? Did he have better hit ratio than like Nostradamus? Did he have a better ratio than The Simpsons? Somebody pointed out, they were like, don't forget the marginals, which I constantly do. So here is a marginal. That was, I took in my notes for this issue, I was like, marginals. I just wrote marginals really big. And here you have Super Duper Man, playing off that Mad comic, right? Wasn't that what it's called, Super Duper Man, from the Mad comic? You guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm like a really big DC fan. If you saw my comic book collection, you would be like, well, as far as like comic book collectors go, not that great. As far as like normal people go, you'd be like, hey, that's pretty good. Like when people come in and see it, they're alarmed. But when comic collectors come in and see it, they're like, oh, good start. But anyway, most of my collection is DC Comics. I've never seen the Donner Superman. Never seen any of them. I don't know why. I think I was talking about it before with some other thing where it was just like, I wrote it off as being, well, with Airplane, the movie Airplane, I just sort of wrote this off as like, this is old person shit. Why would I watch this? It was made 6 years before I was born. Why would I watch such a thing? And Mort Drucker did a pretty darn good job with the illustration on this. It is funny, like what he puts effort into. No, what's funny is what he doesn't put effort into. I think you can kind of tell if he's got any type of excitement with the subject matter. Here you have some cool things, like right down here, some chicken fat of the original Action Comics cover where Superman debuted. On the television, you have Batman, or is that Batman? Who knows? Lots of little funny things, little animals stuck here and there. I think some pertinent to the story and some impertinent. I will say this, I have seen this clip where he like leaves as Clark and then appears as Superman, and like that whole scene was pretty darn cool. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do something about this. Maybe I gotta rent it or something, because I feel like it is not great that I've never seen this movie. But we'll see. Coming next year, Super Duper Man 2. I wonder, did they just predict it correctly, or were they just being cynical? Or maybe it was already announced. Rewriting the classical poetry to give women equal time. Really cool illustrations by George Woodbridge. Writer is Tom Koch. It's still good, okay? It's still good, guys. The one that I'm going to read, though, is one, you should not be surprised by it, because I talked about this one recently, and that is Zelda Den. Wait, why don't I just give the... Oh, that's too much. That's too much to read. Are you kidding me? I thought it was going to be like a paragraph. They have like 4 paragraphs? Get out of here. This is Zelda Den. So the whole thing of this is like, to increase women's appearances. What is that? Representation. Let's rewrite the classics starring women. Now, this is Rudyard Kipling's Gunga Din. It's just like the classic story of the colonizing British forces in India or Pakistan or somewhere, and how they used young boys to bring them water while they were fighting their countrymen. Years ago, I served the crown in a humid Indian town, yet the comforts there were more than might have been. Though we sweated while we drank, still we very seldom stank, 'cause we had a laundry girl named Zeldadin. She was Gungadin's twin sister, and I'll tell you one thing, mister, that poor heathen girl got no rest or repose. Daily each man soiled his shirt, while his socks got stiff with dirt. For 1,000 troops, that's quite a pile of clothes. Fast as Gunga brought in water, Zelda used the soap we brought her to keep up with all our regiment's demands. With no fab to make clothes brighter and no bleach to make them whiter, she just scrubbed till she got rough, unsightly hands. We all treated her like scum, but when VIPs would come, she made sure each prize for dress parades we'd win. For sudsing out our smell, I feel honor bound to tell, you're a better drudge than I, Zelda Din. You know what? I think that really makes me, I'm gonna go to my bookshelf, pull off my Rudyard Kipling collection. I think I'm gonna read Gunga Din tonight. Here we have a mad look at Superman, and look at this is a weird looking marginal. What the hell? What the hell is that? This is this is so weird. All right, so there's this Asian man tending to his bonsai, and it is pronounced bonsai tree, and there's a little bonsai-sized man hanged from the tree. Oh, poor guy. Here we have a mad look at Superman. Again, I try to say this every time we come across one like this. Sergio Aragones, although he came to own a mad look at, was not always the mad look at guy. And a lot of people were doing it before him and concurrently. And then it really just fully became his own. Artists like, who is this? Don Martin, Jack Kent, I'm pretty sure Paul Coker, Bob Clark, those guys all did a mad look at in this like kind of 3 or 4 panel type thing. 2 to 4, I don't know, it varied. Look at, there he is, stuck in the phone booth. These modern phone booths, not great. Must hurry, only minutes left. All aliens must register before January 31st. They're talking about resident aliens, so. Great Caesar's ghost, it's an emergency, quick, Olson. Yes, Chief. Has anybody in here seen Superman? Now this is, I don't know why I gave him that voice, but it just felt right. Here we have hero sandwiches, and my favorite part of this is the fact that the Incredible Hulk is at the sandwich shop. Anyway, let's keep going. See, this is the problem, guys, is I was taking notes. I was like, I'm not gonna have hardly any time, or I'll have so much extra time. And now I'm looking at the time and like realizing, no, I have too little. Why restrict the awarding of medals to the military? After all, civilians perform heroic acts while fighting life's daily battles as well. Let's recognize them with this issue's proposed MAD medals to be presented to deserving lawyers. Aww. Lawyers are important. I got a lawyer. He's great. The backed up calendar medal for boldly stalling and delaying to drag out court trials, thus generating tremendous incomes for judges, lawyers, court employees, bail bondsmen, etc., thereby strengthening the solid pillar on which our system of justice depends. The Esprit de Corps medal, I'm not going to read these. Really what I care about is the artwork on them. I said it before and I'll say it again. He does such a good job of making them look like actually engraved medals. Like, I don't know, like, He's just so good. How do you do that? How do you make that look like it's carved in? I guess you like just invert the shadows? Who knows? Then here we have Matt Explores the TV Rating Systems by Harry North, Esquire. He is the artist on this. Harry North, Esquire is always fun to see. Very unpredictable style, but I love this dude. So hit pause and appreciate those. Then we have this, the Spy versus Spy, the joke and dagger department. My favorite. I'm going to be honest, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Here we have what is humility. And maybe I'll read a little bit while I cruise around these illustrations. Once a famous person has finished cheating, whining, intimidating, screaming, and lying to achieve all the material riches of his life, he is often gripped by an urge to achieve humility. You can almost predict when a famous person will first turn humble. It usually happens right after he has founded a corporation named after himself. His initial outburst of full-blown humility may come when he interrupts a conversation about something else to say, "Good Lord was kind to me." Or he might butt in to say, "I'm just grateful that I was put on earth to spread happiness." Or he may simply say, "I owe a lot to the man upstairs." But whatever he says, he always makes sure he's saying it before an audience of 20 million people on a TV talk show. In all cases, those blessed with humility can be counted on to make profound comments, but who else but a humble actor would remind us that he could never have become a Hollywood star without the help of a guy who put film in the camera? Who else but a humble athlete would admit that he might not have scored 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl without linemen in front of him? Who else but a humble tycoon would confess that he might have succeeded more slowly if his father hadn't manufactured automobiles and his grandfather hadn't invented them? And who else but a humble politician would only promise to end war and erase poverty if he can count on God's assistance? I think that's pretty awesome. That's pretty well written. Pretty biting satire by our friend, Tom Koch. Unfortunately, I cannot continue with this because it's like a book. I haven't read a book in years. I'm not going to start now. Here is the lovely, look at this. Like, what the hell is that? The Lighter Side of. We love it, don't we? We love old Berg. We're Berg-brained over here. And here we have a neat painting. I got to say, Bob Clark, you guys know I love him. I'm not that wild about his paintings. They're neat, but I don't know, they're just so flat when they're black and white. Yeah, that's all. That's cool. But yeah, I don't know, that's that. I don't want to go into that. This is what I want to go into. Since the dawn of time, men have been trying to get rid of their unwanted face hair. The only purpose the fuzz seemed to serve was to house insects, obscure vision, and to keep track of food eaten by gathering samples of it. When the use of tools was discovered, one of their first applications was the removal of that bothersome beaver. Though crude at first, shaving instruments evolved through the ages until a major breakthrough was made, the invention of the standard safety razor. But this little marvel was so good, it almost ruined the shaving industry. It never broke down, it never needed replacing, and it was handed down from father to son. The business looked dead until some genius decided to make razors the way other successful products were made, gimmicky and lousy. First, they fooled around with the blades. Blades were made with chromium, platinum, tungsten, and Teflon, to name a few. Then they started fooling around with the razors themselves. Injector systems, double-bladed heads, swivel heads, etc. Just when you thought they couldn't possibly come up with one more innovation, another popped up. So now there's a new, flashier model every few months that makes the old one seem obsolete, and cleverly, the new blade head won't fit the old handles. So where will it all end? It won't. MAD now projects some future products we're sure to see as we're hurtled deeper and deeper out into the space age razor race. Here's something. The more things change, the more they stay the same. We constantly have that, right? Like when I was a kid, it was the multi-blade razors, Mach 3, Mach 5. They just kept adding razor blades, and there was a lot of humor around that, about the addition of razor blades. And funny enough, Al Jaffee predicted this in, one way. Well, two ways, actually. He has multiple blade razors. But obviously, it was a problem this whole time. Who would have thunk? Well, I guess people born in the 50s, because they experienced this. And now they still do it. They still do it, right? There's like Dollar Shave Club, Harry's. You can get cheap razor blades, as if that had never happened. But now they get you to pay more for the cheap razor blades because they're cheaper than the expensive ones. But then they got so popular that they began making expensive razor blades. And also now you can just buy Dollar Shave Club and Harry's at Target. So it sort of defeats their whole purpose to begin with, is that it was online ordering, it would arrive at your house, it was cheaper, and it was easier. But now it's not as, it's like just as expensive, and you have to go through the hassle of going to Target. That's why I use a double razor. I use a safety razor. I drop in a double razor blade and tighten it, and that's how I shave, and it's perfect. That was the peak, the pinnacle. Anyway, I'm done now. The quick freeze razor. Look, you have a little Freon cartridge. That sounds horribly dangerous. A little can of Freon. That stuff is not, especially I'm assuming the Freon they were using, it's just like, now they have like coolants that are like not as bad. Here's a flamethrower razor. As if freezing it wasn't bad enough, now you have like little butane capsules. Oh, yeah. You have butane and Freon. So depressing the trigger switch causes three things to happen simultaneously. It releases butane gas, it ignites the gas, which shoots out flames to sear off the whiskers, and ice-cold Freon gas is then released, which neutralizes the pain of your scorched and burning face. You have the microwave razor and the laser razor. I love the laser razor. Here's the Track LXXVI. What is that? Like XX is 20. L, is that 100 or is M 100? Let's say L is that 34? The Track 34 razor? No, it was 70. It was 76. Okay. Okay, because you're subtracting the 100 minus 20 is 80, minus 6. Is that, no, minus 4. No. Are we adding all those? Dude, it's been a while since I did Roman numerals. You guys should be, honestly, I'm a millennial. You should just be impressed that I know what Roman numerals are, okay? Here we have the multi-blade razor. And then the permanent plucker one is pretty disturbing, I must say. It just dips right into your face, deep into your face, and pulls away the hair follicle. Look at that one. That one's pretty good. The simple plucker, and then the permanent plucker 2. There's a permanent plucker 1, but it was just not as effective. All right, now this is classic MAD, right? So you have all of this stuff that's like kind of for older people, and then you have these things every once in a while. If children treated their parents the way their parents treat them, and this is all about like the sort of this is why I say it's directed at like little kids. It's all about the injustice of being young, right? Like how you are at the mercy of adults. And they have like a number of these. These always have not always, they appear quite frequently, where it's, well, what if kids did this? What if, parents did this? And it's always on that theme of the injustice of being a kid. There are some kind of fun ones in here. Before I do that, though, let's look at these marginals. There you go. Boom. That's a good placement for this, actually. The treatment of children. These just has to follow and... Oh, that's good. Here we have... and where do you think you're going? Oh, no, no tennis for you, old lady. Not until you finish your housework. I like this one. Not now, Dad. I've had a hard day at school. Are you home watching that stupid television again? On a nice sunny day like this, why don't you go outside in the fresh air? Play golf or something. You never had to tell my dad to play golf. That dude was... Oh, shoot. Damn, I just ripped this. Damn it. Here we have one night in the Miami bus terminal, puts $1 in, change, paf. I have a question. Why Miami? Is there some Miami reference that I am missing? It's possible. Here's Battlestar Galactica, which I don't have time to go over. A beautiful fold-in. I think it's like going to be a dollar sign. But guess what? This was owned by somebody who was well-adjusted, and they did not fold the fold-in. So with that, this has been Mad Magazine number 208. You guys, remember, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.